Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, I found out that my fiancé cheated on me less than a week after my proposal. I've been with my now fiancé for 3 years. In the previous 2 long-term relationships that she had before me, they didn't go very well. From what I know, her past relationships were based off of false expectations of her, where her controlling type boyfriends tried to change her. From the beginning, I told her to be herself, and our relationship flourished from there. We have been engaged for about a month. We were waiting until coronavirus conditions improved before booking any wedding plans. 2 nights ago, we were having a conversation about our future together, and it all came out. Less than a week after she accepted our proposal, she cheated on me with a friend of a friend. I will not mention his name here. She told me that she didn't know if she could see herself as a wife at first, so that's why she stepped out. There was no way to make a connection between the nature of her past relationships and her cheating. It was not a red flag at the time, nor did I think that it would lead to further commitment issues. I have moved out of our house and back to my parents, until I can think of a sound solution. I just don't know what that solution is. I know that this was a one-time affair. She's been begging me to take her back. I just don't know if I can justify the one-time factor as a basis for accepting her back. 1,000 positive affirmations can be erased with one bad mistake. Update. Thanks for all of the advice. I know how to proceed from here. I've always thought of ways to turn a negative situation into a positive situation, and most importantly, to not act or feed off of negative emotions. It was difficult to see how to do that for the past few days. For the majority of those who are telling me to end the relationship, I believe that it is the best course of action. It is true that cheating would have been a constant topic on my mind. We are not bound to each other through property or through finances, as I don't believe in doing so officially before marriage. My family and friends believe that the relationship should end as well. I have returned to my home and will tell her to move out. Thank you to those who forwarded me to the surviving infidelity communities. Due to the surprisingly high rate in which posts have accelerated on my original thread, I have decided to stay off Reddit for now. Final update. Just wanted to give a final update. I won't respond further after this. Some users say that I have ended the relationship too soon without room for negotiation. That may be true under most circumstances. However, the timing of the affair said more than the affair itself. Therefore, I believe I made the right choice. Thanks. A user in the comments said, "Oh please, that's just what she said to justify the cheating. So, every time when she has doubts about being a wife she's gonna go duck someone else? If she has doubts she can talk to you, she can go to counseling, she can discuss with her friends. Why is her first instinct to cheat? I wouldn't trust her again." Another user said, "She didn't even make it a full week after agreeing to marry you before she was hopping on new dick. There is no way in hell, heaven, or anywhere else that she will be faithful for the rest of her life. And that excuse? Is bullcrap. Complete and utter bullcrap. You do not know this was a one-time affair. If you stay with her, she will cheat again. Probably multiple times with multiple people. Cheaters are trash, and this girl is no exception." The next one is titled, My 29 meters, girlfriend, 24F. Tried to throw me under the bus when the police searched my house. First I'd like to start with some background. My girlfriend and I have been in a relationship for a bit over a year. She stays at my house about 75% of the time. We have had no major problems before this point. On Saturday night, we were watching TV in the living room, and suddenly there was loud pounding and shouting at the front door. My immediate reaction was to call the police, but after a look out the curtains, I found that it was the police. At this point I was extremely confused. I don't sell, manufacture, or use drugs. I have no firearms in the house. I do nothing illegal online. I don't even pirate Game of Thrones. I had no idea why they might have reason to be knocking on my door on a Saturday night. I opened the door and they immediately asked for permission to search the premises. I asked why they would think that was necessary, and they wouldn't answer. In turn, I refused to give them permission. My girlfriend repeatedly said I should cooperate. I said no and told them to show me a warrant if they want to enter the house. They then informed me that they had probable cause and were searching for my place no matter what I thought about the situation, and that their asking was only a formality. The first thing they did after entering my house was pull my girlfriend and I into separate rooms and begin questioning us. I kept demanding they show me a warrant, but apparently warrants aren't even a thing anymore because probable cause can be literally anything when your local PD is backwater and crapty enough. I refused to answer any questions. I told them I wanted a lawyer if I was under arrest. I repeated that I did not consent to any searches of my property and repeatedly asked what their probable cause was, that there was nothing readily apparent, thank you Breaking Bad, and that they had no right to strip me of my privacy. My girlfriend, on the other hand, talked a lot. I didn't hear much because she was in the next room, but I overheard her say this. You should check the backyard shed. I've never been in there before and I can't say what's in it. At the time I could only think, what the duck is she doing? Well, the police checked the shed, and found nothing. Again, I'm not a criminal, and an hour plus hundreds of questions later left. At that point I asked why in the world she would try to help them find criminal activity in my house, and she could only answer that she panicked and didn't know what to do. I don't need legal advice. My mother is a paralegal and knows a lot of good attorneys. She's furious about the police conduct, and she doesn't even know what my girlfriend said to them yet. I'm incredibly angry at my girlfriend for saying something so unbelievably moronic, but all she can respond to me with is, I panicked and didn't know what to do. What I need more than anything is another perspective on why a person would throw their SO under the bus like that. Does this seem like something that can be worked through, or is this just a huge red flag? A user in the comments said, damn, this sounds super weird. It does however kinda depend on what they told her. If they'd said something like, we believe he has X in the house and if we find it without you telling us, you'll be in trouble too. Now, I'd be disappointed if anyone I knew, loved and respected ratted me out to the cops, especially if I hadn't actually done anything wrong, but it really does depend on what they said. As per your description, they don't sound like the best police force in the world. They could have said literally anything to her. Some people also turn to jelly when they see blue lights and a shiny badge. I have a friend who had a 20 bag hidden in his boxers and was stopped by the cops, asking for directions. Instead of just giving them the direction and moving on, he owned straight up to having the 20 bags. Don't automatically assume she knew she was ratting you out or even thought about what she was doing. The next one is titled, Update, my 30 meters, girlfriend, 25F, tried to throw me under the bus when we were being questioned by police. 1. My girlfriend and I aged a year. I am now 30 and she is now 25. This was about as much as could be expected. 2. The tip that the police received did not come from my girlfriend. This was a giant cluster duck. About a year before I met my current girlfriend, I was sort of kind of seeing a 35-year-old woman. Our relationship was primarily physical in nature, but she wanted me to drop everything and move in with her. Just about everyone I knew was telling me that there was something off about her, but I thought they were judging her for her age. Then one night when we had a fight, she chugged half a bottle of cognac and I had to call an ambulance because she was completely unresponsive. I ghosted her after this and had to ignore her pounding on my door several times. I went to the police station about a week after they raided me to file a formal complaint. I had consulted a lawyer and he advised me that it would be a good first step if I were going to take legal action. When I filed the complaint, I tried to get information on who falsely accused me of a crime that warranted a raid without a warrant, but they wouldn't budge. My lawyer told me as much. 6 months after the raid, I heard through the grapevine that my ex-FWB, GF called the police to inform them that I was cooking crystal meth in my basement. I only learned about this because a mutual friend who my ex had recently confided in spilled the beans. I figured out soon thereafter that she had seen me with my current girlfriend somewhere and decided I must have been cheating on her when we were still together, a year earlier. She exacted her revenge by getting me swatted. I went to the police station to file a report against her, but the person at the front desk essentially laughed me out of the building. When I consulted my lawyer, he told me that it was pointless to even bother. Maybe with a better PD and in a better city. 3. I was advised against trying to sue the PD. More specifically, my lawyer told me that I could sue if I wanted, but that if he were me he wouldn't. When I asked why, he said that usually if you can prove the unwarranted search were racially motivated, based on prejudice or corruption, you could, possibly, win. But the police screwing the pooch was generally a weak reason. Again, maybe against a better PD in a less backwards region. 4. My girlfriend talked because of previous bad experiences. I forgave my girlfriend for overtalking to the police. Many people in the original post were entirely pitchforks up, even suggesting that she called the police, and I understand why. Some people went kind of over the line and suggested that she may have planted evidence. But some were explaining that there are people who simply freeze up with the police. Knowing her, I thought this must be the case. Months after the incident, my girlfriend sat me down and let out that a police officer had molested her when she was in her teens during a routine traffic stop. He decided she needed to be searched, and used it as an excuse to feel her up. I was horrified. Before you ask, yes, I received her permission to post this detail honestly, and when you read this post, I love you so much. 5. We moved. We moved out of Butt Duck Vile. We live in a larger city now, and coincidentally my parents also had reason to move here too. Her parents are originally from elsewhere in the country, but we are closer to them now too. One last little happy note is that we are getting married next year, and we are both incredibly excited about starting our lives together. The next one is titled, I just found out my husband, 26M, has been cheating on me, 24F, again. My husband, 26, and I, 24, have been married for 3 years. For the first year and a half, he cheated on me. We worked through it with couples counseling, because I was stupid and listened to our families to try to work through it. This is my first marriage and his second marriage. His first ended due to him being stationed in Italy and his wife wanting to stay in the States with her family. He was 21. Now, I never fully trusted him after this, but I tried. We recently found out that I am anovulatory and between PTSD from abuse as a child and that, I've been in therapy. I had his full support. My therapist was helping me to trust him again. A few months ago, he put a lock on his phone and wouldn't let me know the password. Well, yesterday I had a severe gallbladder attack and paged my boss. I work for a general surgeon. He called me in some anti-nausea medication and is setting me up for an ultrasound. My husband, who we will call Matt, went to pick up the medicine this morning. While he was out, I snooped on his Facebook. I know I shouldn't have. There was a message from a girl he blocked the last time he cheated, because she was one of the ones he cheated with. He had cheated on me with several people. Well, they were talking again, and he had been asking for pictures. Thankfully this time, the woman actually respected my marriage and told him no. However, they were still talking. After arguing on and off today, Matt agreed to let me go through his Facebook messages. On a whim I had clicked on messages to a Hannah. I'm not changing her name, because you suck, Hannah. She also knew we were married. We went to high school with her. It turns out, starting in January, he has been having sex with her and giving her money to support a child she had back when we were in high school. The child isn't Matt's. The Facebook messages were very graphic about what they wanted to do to each other and where to meet up. Before I saw these messages, I asked Matt 6 times, "Did you have sex with Hannah?" He said no. I broke down and cried. I promised before reading the messages to not talk to my family about what I saw, and I work so often I don't really have any friends nearby. We are supposed to go to a gender reveal party for my best friend in 2 weeks. How can I stomach being around that and him? We have a shared bank account. I make twice as much as he does. I will be needing surgery soon. I have group therapy Monday, but I just started that last week. I have individual therapy Tuesday. I don't know if I can wait that long to talk to someone about this. I know I need to leave him, but our lives are so intertwined. I have 3 little nephews who adore Matt, but my hear and trust are absolutely shattered. What do I do from here? Where do I go? Any advice is appreciated. A user in the comments said, I think you should listen to yourself and not your family. Your husband is a serial cheater and will not stop. Start separating your financials and see a lawyer. You will find someone who will treat you with the respect you deserve. Another user said, thank you for standing up for you. Real adults admit their blame in a duck up and don't try to manipulate their partners into feeling bad. Separate your accounts. Cancel automatic deposits from your paycheck. Change Hotmail, email, phone and any other passwords he may know. Contact that lawyer your sister's friend used and start your separation. Spend time with your sisters and friends and dog. Get a hobby or spend time on one you already have if you want to avoid dwelling on the divorce. Boredom leaves time for contemplation. Also take care of yourself. Work out and eat well. Nothing says revenge like being healthy and sexy. You are so young, and although this may seem like the end of something, remember that semisonic lyric, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. The next one is titled, Update. I just found out that my husband, 26M, cheated on me, 24F, again. This didn't get much attention, but I thought I would update. The last couple of days have been emotional. I went to my OB office and got tested for all STIs. He delivered 2 of 3 of my nephews, and he's a doctor who refers to my office regularly, and he hugged me and let me cry. He's a really good doctor. I should have the results by Friday. I told my coworker who I'm on good terms with yesterday. It's hard to avoid it when your eyes are red and puffy. Today we looked up Hannah on Facebook, and I saw she was in a relationship. This made me even angrier. Not only did they put the nail in the coffin on my marriage, but they also potentially ruined her relationship. I messaged him on Facebook and paid for it to go to his inbox. I didn't see anything recent, so I can only hope he sees it. If he had known, I would hope he told me. I am going to call in payments from our joint account and then taking my paycheck to a different bank and taking my name off the joint account. I'm applying for an apartment 30 minutes away from Matt, and I'm slowly moving things out, so he doesn't notice. Matt says daily he loves me, but I'm tired. I didn't mention this in the last post, but he had drained our bank account on Hannah and other junk I told him I wanted to wait on him getting. I.e., a $91 magic card and $208 sunglasses. I had group therapy yesterday, and while I didn't share anything, it helped. I have individual tonight. I feel lucky that I was already in therapy before all of this happened. A user in the comments said, I would only add to make sure you get your name off anything joint, even if you're not using it currently. If he can take your money, then he can also rack up debt on credit cards, etc. Other than that, you seem to be handling this like a boss. Thank God you don't have kids. Another user said, it's good that you're moving on. He's obviously a zebra that won't change his stripes, so onward and upward. You're doing the right things. I hope your tests come back negative and you can put this whole mess behind you. The next one is titled, Final Update. I just found out that my husband, 26M, cheated on me, 24F, again. Well, life has been interesting to say the least. I reconnected with a bunch of old friends who I haven't spoken to in a long time. He didn't want me talking to guys because in my past, if I was cheated on, I would cheat, too. I had a troubled past that involved most of my high school years being drunk and sleeping around. However, I had always been upfront with who I was back then and who I am now. I grew up. Matt got fired from his job, and his cat has cancer. So, I've been helping him find job opportunities and he's going to re-enlist into the military. I told him he has a lot of issues to work on before he could be in a healthy relationship. Things got bad for a bit between us, especially when he found out I was moving in with a guy friend this summer. As soon as I move out, I'll be going to NC. Matt offered an open relationship, basically asking me to go back to my old ways. He wants me to go back to drinking constantly like he does, and to sleep around again. I figured it was so he would stop feeling guilty, and he could have his cake and eat it, too. I have never understood that saying. My parents are moving to Utah, so I'll lose a part of my support system, but my mom already knows I'll call her a lot. I'm working full-time and got a part-time job on the weekends, so I'm staying busy. I convinced my sisters to go to one of those painting classes and we had a great time. I wasn't shy for the first time in a long time. I got out of my comfort zone and danced and just relaxed. I have no intention of dating for a long time. I'm applying for colleges so I can go back to school to get my RN. I'm doing everything Matt said I couldn't do. I've also started reading more and playing video games again. Group therapy and my individual therapy has been so helpful during this time. So, this is my life. I can't wait to move on and enjoy things again. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.